All right, welcome everybody back to the Dane By Local community channel. And we're really excited today to be talking with Jeffrey of Celebrations Entertainment. Before we get into that, just a real quick thing for you, just to remind you, again, we're really glad to welcome you to the Dane By Local community channel. If you haven't been aware of some of the videos we've been posting with all different perspectives during this health crisis of members, what they're going through, what's happening, how this is impacting our community locally, and the road back. We're going to talk a little bit more about the road back today as well with Jeffrey once we get into it. There might be some opinions given during this half an hour or so, and just keep in mind those are either my opinions or perhaps Jeffrey's not necessarily representative of Dane By Local, so we got to get that out of the way. But we welcome you in, and we're going to have a talk on tomorrow as well. So join us at noon on Tuesday. We'll try to get some more in here before Memorial Day because everybody's looking forward to that weekend. Jeffrey, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, you bet.
How are you
doing? Here. I'm good.
Other than having a fantastic background, how are you doing right now?
Thank you for that compliment. I appreciate it. You know, I'm in this studio. I built a studio in one of the bedrooms of my house, and I'm here a lot. I'm doing a ton of Zoom meetings, and I'm doing a ton of events for clients. And so I thought having a real backdrop and not a computer generated one would be a good idea. But yeah, I'm doing great today. Thanks.
Yeah, and those are actual curtains, right? You told me that.
Oh, yeah.
This is the real deal.
That's the real deal.
That's somewhere in his house. I mean, that's amazing. Anyone else has curtains like that, I would beg to. I don't think many people have curtains quite like that.
Well, it's not a house curtain. Right. It's we do a lot of photo booths with Celebrations. So I just grabbed one of the photo booth backdrops that we use and brought it to my house to hide the things behind it.
Oh, okay. So this is not your home decor, not full home decor.
No, it's not. Okay. No.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough.
Glad we got that out of the way.
You and I were just talking. It's fun. It's nice to have a little fun, right? Because all this has been so serious.
Yeah.
There's been so much happening. But you and I were just talking about how unique your situation is before we get into the business part about this neighborhood that you live in and so much family around. Just to talk about that aspect of it, I think so many people have had real struggles with that during this time about being able to stay connected to family, and you don't have that issue, right?
Yeah, we don't. Our daughter and granddaughter are living with us, with me and my wife, Karen. And Karen is the youngest of 6 kids, and all 6 of her siblings, well, 5 other siblings, are all within a half a mile of each other. And her mom is a block away. So grandma is right around the corner. And while we've been social distancing with her, because she's in that age bracket that is at risk more than others, we still shop for her and do things like that for her and see her from the porch. And she had a birthday a couple weeks ago, so we all gathered in her front yard and saying happy birthday to her and things like that. So it's all, but family is great. It's good to be close.
That's great. So tell us a little bit. I mean, you've been the owner of Celebrations Entertainment for a while now. You told me you opened in '91 officially. So you've had this business going for a while. What has this business meant to you during these last many years?
Oh man, I got into this business because I was a theater geek growing up, right? So I'm a people person. I love the performing aspect and the one-on-one relationship or the 1-on-300 relationship building, however you want to look at it, directly with a client or with an entire room full of people that are celebrating at a wedding or at a gala or at a corporate event or whatever. That's really why I got into this. And so this is difficult. I'm in a room right now with 3 computers, a blackjack table, a soundboard, and 2 cameras, a TV, and it's just me. And this is difficult for me. This is not who I am. It's not, my DNA is built around being, in front of people and being around people and hugging people and sharing life's memories and sharing love. So it's been hard, but you get through it. So
tell us a little bit about that, because it's the you're about events and about people and gatherings, and that's been something that's been we can't do right now. So how have you adapted during this time, especially other than having all those great things in your house? What do you do with that stuff?
Yeah, we've been, staying really connected to our clients. I developed really a lot of the stuff that we do in a virtual mode. So I have a blackjack table in here. So I've been doing blackjack games with with friends and neighbors and with clients, right? That do casino events with us. I've been doing virtual bingo, a ton of different bingo games, whether it's a corporate or just a family event, a birthday event, right? A friend of mine had a birthday party and she invited 20 of her closest friends and family, and they were all on a different screen, but we played a fun bingo game. And I've done that with clients as well. Trivia games, we've been doing trivia games, and then I just did a huge event with 160 people on Saturday night, 160
Wow.
on Zoom, and we did a scavenger hunt game, and it was the funnest thing ever. I just called out items that people had in their homes, so I was calling out spatula and a rake and a five uh, 5 rolls of toilet paper, and they all had to run around their house and grab them, and then show them right in the screen for. And it was a blast. We had so much fun. And everybody just forgot about everything, and that was really really special for me, because even though I was alone in my room, I still had all of these people up on the screen, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So that's the kind of stuff that I've been doing, just to stay relevant, right? Stay connected to my clients and friends, and just offer what I do, just happy moments and memories and special times even during all of this. So
What have you received in way of response from people to some of this stuff? Because I think, a lot of us have been, this is all new, right? And some of the technology is new and we're learning a lot and doing a lot of different things than we have done before. But maybe, some of us aren't as adept at being able to generate our own big gathering, something like that. So what have you heard
right.
from people about those kind of services you're providing?
Oh my gosh, everybody has really praised me for being just so creative, right? Just thinking outside the box, thinking about different things to do, just to stay relevant, and even a DJ dance party. I've done a number of those as well, where I've got the decks right here in the studio, and I'm mixing on the ones and twos, right, and just broadcasting that out to people's homes when they're dancing, and so that I've been doing that as well, right? So people are super happy about being able to, what it is, Jason. It's about how the feeling that they get when they're at an event, right? Um, when it's a really good event, and the story is good, and they're tied into whether it's a wedding or a nonprofit gala, or whatever the event is, a birthday party. Why do the people have so much fun at that event? Because you're taking them away from all of the other stuff that they're worried about, right, in their life, for that moment, for that hour, or whatever. I'm taking them away from COVID, from coronavirus, from quarantine, from pandemic, and we're just, we're there on their computer, and they're looking at friends and family members or whatever it is, and I'm taking them away. So you know eh, that's really what it's all about, is just still offering the what I do, but just in a different way.
I want to go back to one thing you brought up, which is the DJ part in just a minute, but I want
Yeah.
to ask this first. So about these events you're doing, how does this work? I mean, are you doing some things on Facebook Live? Are you doing things on YouTube? Are you doing just kind of invite only Zoom meetings, or all of the above? What are you doing there?
Yeah, I started with Facebook Live, and it just didn't work because it wasn't the interaction, right? It was only one way. So Zoom has been really my best friend. We have the highest level of Zoom, so we can send people into rooms. We do a really really fun trivia game where I can do team trivia. So we say the question. We have a PowerPoint slide. Everybody sees the question, and then I press a button, and everybody goes into their separate rooms to discuss what the answer would be. Just like you do it like bar trivia or team
Yeah.
trivia, right? It's a team, and then they come back into the main room, and they type in their answer to the scorekeeper, and we're playing really good fun team trivia games with just using the technology. So mostly Zoom, just because of the interaction of being able to see people on the screen.
Yeah, that's great, and I love that too. I think even just a conversation like this is so much, gives I get a lot more out of it than trying to do something myself and then having people maybe type in comments on a chat or
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, you mentioned the DJ stuff, and that's how you got started, right? So talk us back to your beginnings a little bit. How long have you been DJing, and how did that all start?
I walked into a bar in downtown Madison, into a college bar, the night I turned 18, because I could. Drinking age was still 18 then. And there was this guy, and he was in the middle of the bar, and he was controlling all of the energy in the bar. It's like he was on stage, right? As a theater geek, right? Guy growing up in theater. I just was drawn directly right to the middle of the club and watched him and watched what he did. And after a few nights of doing that, I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, "How does somebody get to do something like this?" And he handed me his card, and I called him, and he hired me, and so that started my DJ career. I started as a club DJ in downtown Madison when I was 18 years old, and then that evolved into doing events and weddings, and then I taught myself how to be an auctioneer. I've done a couple events for Dane By Local, raised money for them and for a lot of other nonprofits in town. I raise over $3 million a year for local nonprofits. So doing with my company. So as an auctioneer and MC and things like that. So
Wow, that's fantastic. I work for one, so we might have to talk after this
yeah.
as well. But you also told me that you were in the military for a while. So how did that come about, and what did that time mean to you, and you think did for you now as you move forward into having your own business?
So I'll go back to being a theater geek, right? And the drama of movies. The movie Top Gun came out in the mid '80s, and a lot of people joined the military after that movie, but a lot of them joined the Navy to be a Navy pilot, right? The scene that struck me the most was the scene after Goose and Mav ejected out of the jet when they went into a flat tailspin, and the Coast Guard helicopter came and rescued them. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool. Like I jumped out of the helicopter and swam over to them, put them in a basket and rescued them. I was like, I want to know what that is. I had no idea. A kid from Wisconsin. What is the Coast Guard? I had no idea what the Coast Guard was, but that scene in that movie drew me to the U.S. Coast Guard. I ended up enlisting in the Coast Guard and ended up being not the guy that jumped out of the helicopter, but the guy that stayed in the helicopter that pushed the guy out and then hoisted him back up again. So I was a hoist operator and a flight mechanic and a jet engine mechanic, and I did that for 9 years in the U.S. Coast Guard, and it was a great job. It was the best job I ever had. I got to save lives for a living, and I had the camaraderie that you hear about with that firefighters and police officers and all of that habits in the military, and it's the same thing. It was great.
And then at that time, were you also
Started the
a
company.
DJ, right? You were also a DJ. And did you bring
Yeah.
DJ and music to your units then too? Is that what
I
you did?
did. Oh yeah, absolutely. I was the guy that set up the equipment in the hangar deck and did all of the events for the families, the Christmas and the Easter and everything. And then the enlisted club and the Chiefs club and the officers club and all the different places that I could DJ at as well. Yeah, I was that guy. But then I ran the company on the side too. So I even had guys that I worked with as employees of mine. Some that were senior to me, I had to call them sir during the day, and they had to call me sir at night. So it was great. It was
Wow.
fun.
I don't think there's a lot of people in the military with that exact experience. So I think you're
No, I
pretty
doubt it.
unique.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah,
That sounds
it
like,
was fantastic.
yeah, that sounds great. Then how did you make your way back to Madison in this area after that?
So I ended up getting a medical retirement. I got asthma while I was in, and it was due to using some solvents that I wasn't protected with using the proper PPE. Using going back to today's what's happening right now, but I wasn't using the proper PPE and ended up getting a pretty bad asthma, and so they discharged me out with a medical retirement and moved back to Madison, where I grew up. And Karen and I not only moved back to Madison, but moved back to the same neighborhood that we grew up together, and our kids, got to grow up and experience the same things in the same schools that we went to. Being on the PTA or PTO of the same schools that we went to, that was a little weird, but um, but it was a great experience. It was a fantastic experience. We love the neighborhood, and and family, right? It's all about family.
You've
Um,
mentioned your wife a couple of times now. So this is a lifelong, is this a lifelong love story? Because you said you've known each other since you were 6 and 4.
yeah, my
Did you
family
always
moved
like
on
each other,
to.
or did you guys used to fight, or how did that early dynamic go?
Oh my God. Okay, so that's a great story in itself. Yeah. The day that my family moved onto the street where she lived on Pickford Street in Lower Monroe Street area of Madison, um, the day we moved in, there were a ton of kids playing on the street, and we drove up in the wood, the station wagon with the fake wood siding on it, and my sister and I got out and started just playing with all the kids because that's what you did, right? That's what you did in the '70s. Um, so we just hopped out and started playing with the kids. And that night at dinner, my stepmom asked me if we met any new friends, and I said, "Yeah, I met the girl that I'm going to marry. Her name is Karen Pope." And sure enough, that was when I was 6 years old, and ended up marrying her, and we've been married for over 30 years now.
Wow,
So I've
that's
always known she had she didn't like me until well after high school, but her older brother was my best friend, and so I don't remember a time I didn't have a crush on Karen. So
that is quite a story.
isn't it a fun
Um,
story?
yeah. Well, I didn't know we were going to go in some of these directions, but this has been fun, and that's what you bring, right? Is fun with celebrations. So bringing
Right.
back to that, um, what what are you now? Some things have changed in the state, and some things are starting to kind of regenerate here, and we're trying out some things. And obviously, it's still a critical time. We all want to be safe and careful.
Of course.
What kind of things do you see moving forward for your industry and your company itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's day by day, right? The order to safer at home till the end of May came, and that was devastating, obviously, because we were hoping to get back and making plans for what we called the magic micro weddings, right? We wanted to do these beautiful magical weddings with and if you can only have 10, 25, 50, whatever it is, people there, but then use technology and virtual Zoom and things like that to bring everybody else that couldn't travel in. That's still a possibility. We have that kind of package that we're looking at and offering to our clients. Um, Drive-in movies was one of the things that Governor Evers allowed last week. We have this amazing LED video wall that's full weather rated that we can do movies in the middle of the day. So we're trying to work with local partners in the Madison area to do drive-in movies. And we have FM transmitter for people to stay in their cars and watch the movie on the screen. So we're working on that. We're working on obviously getting back to full scale weddings. We have amazing relationships with so many of the different venues in Madison, and I'm working directly with the sales and catering managers and who are all my friends on coming up with plans and backup plans and backup plans for the backup plans. Just being prepared. Really, right now in the event industry, my heart just breaks. Oh my God, my heart breaks for my other DJ friends. I'm friends with all the other DJ companies in town, and we chat with each other a lot and just support each other. The florists and the photographers and the venues and the event industry, clearly has, like so many other industries, obviously, I'm not singling us out, but the event industry has been hit and is going to be really the last to come back, right? The social gatherings of a couple hundred people and people dancing and within an inch of each other. um, that's going to be the last thing that comes back. So we're just trying to stay relevant and just be there for each other. And I do a lot of these Zoom meetings with local professionals, and I send text messages out to my friends all the time, just letting them know that I'm here for them and here with them, and we'll get through it. And just being a positive, just trying to stay positive and hopefully optimistic.
Yeah, I think I mean, those type of events, especially weddings and things like that. I mean, there's so many different people involved. So the point you raise is, yes, I mean, everyone's been affected significantly by this, but I don't think anyone could argue that there's anyone more affected than people involved in events, large scale events. Um,
Right.
and so you have to lean on each other. And I I think that's great and wonderful. And hopefully everybody kind of is able to come along as you get creative. I mean, these creative ways you're talking about are fantastic. I mean, because
Yeah.
people still want to get married, people still want to have these celebrations, and you're offering them that option to still do it, just in a little bit different way.
Right. Right. Or, or waiting, right? A lot of our
Mhm.
clients are just postponing until 2021, and that's okay. We don't want to, pressure anybody. We don't want to force anybody to do anything that they're not comfortable with. One of my neighbors across the street is one of my clients for a December wedding, and I just had a chat with them on the street on Saturday, and they're like, we just don't want to. We're fine waiting. We don't want to do a small version. We want to have a big blowout party, and we're okay. We're living together. We have a great life, and we're just going to wait. And some people are in that camp, right? Some people want to get married on the actual day, and they don't care if they only have 25 people and everybody else zooming in. But some people just want to have a huge party and they don't mind waiting. So we're just there, right? It's about 50-50 with our clients, and we're just there for everybody and just letting them do what they do, right? Letting them have the event that they want to have.
Yeah, that was one thing I thought of.
Flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing I thought of with weddings. Sorry, was that because so many of these things you have to book so far out, and then this happened, and what happened to all those weddings that were planned? I mean, I'm assuming the venues, everybody just had to be flexible, but what was that process like, trying to guarantee people still the services that they wanted and they were expecting, and still having some semblance of a wedding, or allowing them to make those choices, like you said, maybe postponing or something like that.
Yeah. Uh, We've, we basically had a conversation with each one of them, right? I mean, it's a relationship. When somebody books us for any event, especially a wedding, it's a really great, personal relationship that we build with them. And so it's just a conversation like you would have with any other, friend or family member, and just letting them know, whatever they want to do. We have had, I would say, over 95% have just postponed. And some haven't picked a new date yet, right? Some are just have their retainer with us, and we just told them that it'll float till whenever, right? I don't care if it's 2022. Um, we're just going to be there, and we're going to hold it and let them do what they want to do. We have had a few people that just could not, right? Could not wait, or couldn't have the event that they wanted, and so we refunded all of their money. It was difficult to do with no money coming in, but it was the right thing to do. So we had to do what we had to do. But thank goodness that most of them are not doing that. Most of them are just letting us hold on to their retainer, and we're just there for them whenever they reschedule. So yeah, it's tough, man. It's you just got to be there. You got to be flexible, and you got to be there, and working with all of the other. I'm so blessed that I really have friendships with the venues and the other vendors, because we can just talk about it, right?
Hmm.
And come up with a good plan for each individual client.
Yeah, that kind of brings me back to, local businesses, small businesses where the owner's right here, and you can be much more agile in those situations. So what do you think it's meant, um, to you and to your customers, and even people you interact with within the industry, to have so many of those locally owned businesses and those owners right here making those right choices?
It's huge, right? It's so huge, and uh, not only right here and local, but just who we are, right? In the Midwest or in Wisconsin or specifically in Madison. We have such an incredible group of local Madison vendors who really have the same philosophy that I have, which is, we're doing this for the right reasons. We're not doing this because we're making a ton of money. Trust me, we're not, right? We're doing this because we love the event industry. We fall in love with our clients, um, and just being, it's a partnership, right? It's a partnership, and it's just love, right? That's the best way to boil it down to its finest point. It's just love, and it's local, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, obviously, your whole industry is about people, and you're embracing that, and you guys are doing right by them, and that, I think that's, hats off to you on that. It's wonderful to hear all that stuff.
The people
And
that don't have that attitude don't last long.
Fair point.
right? They just don't.
Yeah,
So
fair point.
yeah,
One last thing before I let you go is,
yeah,
your connection to Dane by Local. And I know, as a local business, there's a lot of members, a lot of nonprofit members, business members, all of us. And through this process, we're trying to all support each other. But I think Dane by Local has really done some incredible things and stepping up to try to help as many members as possible. So have you received anything specifically from them during this time?
just the emails from Colin and all the staff at Dane By Local. I participated in a call last week that had so many local business members, and the thing that really it gives me goosebumps right now, even just thinking about it and about to say it. We just went around the room and everybody just said hi and where they're from, and gave a word that of inspiration. Right? I had two words, but that's okay. I break the rules sometimes. But we were able to kind of let everybody know how we're feeling, in a word or two. And oh my God, that was so powerful. That was such a powerful moment. And that was all Dane by Local. It was all you guys just being there for the members and for us and staying connected, right? What I just told you that we're doing for everybody, you're doing for the local Dane County businesses, and just being there and supporting and showing the love, man. And that's, and I feel it. I feel it. And I know a lot of other businesses feel the love from Dane by Local. So hats off.
That's great, Jeff. Appreciate that. When one, I had said that was the last thing, but I wanted to finish up with you because celebrations. Tell us. Okay, sorry, I no one never want to
No,
forget this part, which is tell us
that's good.
how, if somebody's interested in celebrations, your services, doing a fun meeting, casino, whatever, all that awesome stuff you're doing. How do they find you, and what should they do?
Yeah, super easy. Celebrationsentertainment.com. That's the easiest way. Info at for the email address if you want to just email us directly, but you just go to the website. You can contact us right from there. Yeah, virtual anything we can help do. We're even putting together a virtual murder mystery night. So that's in the works right now. We're doing virtual graduation photo booths. So all of our graduates right now that we normally do graduation parties for them and bring our photo booth, we're doing those virtually now, so they can take pictures, send them to us, and then we put them in a picture frame, just like they were at a big event, a big graduation event with class of 2020 and their school logo. So that's one of the newest things that we're doing right now. And then just really all of the fun events that I talked about before, any bingo event, any trivia event, blackjack, anything that you guys want to do, scavenger hunt. That was so fun. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, we're just staying relevant, right? So yeah, please contact us, celebrationsentertainment.com. We'd love to talk to you about anything. And a lot of the stuff, let me just add one more quick thing. A lot of the stuff that I just mentioned was all based on clients contacting us. So we didn't start with this huge amount of things that we're doing virtually. It was somebody calling us and saying, hey, I want to light it up blue for frontline workers. What do you have? And we have a ton of blue LED lights that we use for events. And so we went over there and we lit up their entire business in blue. And that was just, one of the things that we did. So really any idea, anything that you want to do, birthday parades and graduation parades and all of those things with our LED video wall have been super popular as well. So thank you for letting me say that, Jason. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I think what you're doing is fantastic, and the creativity and all the things, and using your clients' requests and needs, and figuring out how to make that work during this time. That's really
Right.
impressive. But
Thank you.
I was just thinking about that too. All the graduates. I mean, because I've got cousins right now that are graduating from college. Some that probably didn't even know if they'd be able to go to college because of financial situations, and they've achieved
Right.
that. And what do they have? It's just very different. And then all the high school grads. I mean, it's not normal. So any way you can kind of bring that celebration to them and still allow them to have that is fantastic. Great stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. One of the middle schools that we do events for every year puts together this 15, 20-minute video of the entire time that the student has been at that school. Right. And they do it in an assembly every year, the day before the graduation. Well, we're helping them by doing that video out in their parking lot with all of the cars pulling up. We're going to send out the signal in an FM transmitter. So all the families are going to be able to basically a drive-in movie, but we're doing it with the school video for this school the day before the graduation was supposed to happen. So little things like that. They just called me last week and asked if I could do that. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So solutions, right? It's just solutions to try and do as much as we can to keep it as normal as we can in this very abnormal world.
That's great, Jeffrey. I appreciate that so much. That's Jeffrey of Celebrations Entertainment. Look up all the great stuff they're doing and reach out if you have any sort of event or interest in any of that stuff. I encourage you to do it. That's me, my opinion. Dane By Local probably back that one because Jeffrey's a member and so is Celebrations. But we love what you're doing, Jeffrey. Thanks so much for your time and telling us all about it.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate your time as well.
All right, everybody, take care. Tomorrow we've got another talk, and that'll be some info on that will be released on Facebook later today. So check that out. Jeffrey, take care. Keep up the great stuff.
You as well. Thank you.